So here we are at the gate of what Henry only knows is Wapiti Meadow.
Soon to be known as Wapiti Station.
Dun dun dun. So we can even talk about how you actually technically don't have to come here on this day at all, but presuming you haven't done anything strange, you now have to attempt to break in to this weird fence that's just seemingly out of nowhere in the middle of the woods.
And realizing that the story needed that, we then were in a pickle where we went, well, we've never made you do anything like that before. Like, go and do an adventure game thing. Like, use an object with an object. And so we kind of put ourselves in a position via the story, and I think this is what I would classify as, like, not great game design, folks.
Correct.
Where I, for lack of, I'll take full credit, I guess, had pushed us into a place with the story where you needed to try to get into this place to justify going somewhere else less important to find a way to get in later. Because when you're telling a story, like, and then you have to kind of create a diversion, you don't want to be like, the most important thing you want is behind this gate, but you need to go elsewhere to get behind it. It's like the biggest, like, bugaboo of adventure game design, but we had written ourselves right into it, and the story was now like, or the game design was now subservient to the story, which is really bad if you're a game designer or an aspiring game designer.
Not the best place to be.
Not great. So Nels and Will and James set about piecing together the concept of being able to pick up things and then contextually change the action you could do with those things. And in terms of look and feel, I think you guys did a great job of being able to pick up the rocks that are to the left of the gate. There is, you probably don't know this player because it's very difficult to see, but there is a stick to the right of the gate.
And there's another one off to the left. Once you try to get in some fashion, the game is agnostic about which. Then you can say like, hey, Delilah, I don't think I can get in here. And of course, in like, classic Firewatch fashion, there's a bunch of very subtle like micro branches where if you actually try to break in with all three of the things, Henry's like, I tried to smash it and break it, I can't do it. So there's like a little bit of reactivity there that's cool, but also me and James and Will basically had to go through like a baton death march to get this to work, just because nothing else in the game at all works this way. With like because the objects, they're in your hand, but then as you use them on the gate, then they're destroyed, but they have to go somewhere and it has to sync up with a special. It's just any one element that is complicated to do in the game to make look nice, and it has like all 10 of them.
And it's not built on any sort of like reusable system, because we didn't imagine we were making a game where you would use thing on a thing like you do in like Monkey Island or whatever. But we walked ourselves right to that, unfortunately. But I think you guys did a valiant job, and I really love the way it actually feels to do it. I am just glad I wasn't the gameplay programmer on it. I'm very happy about that.
Lucky you.